What's up, everybody? Nick Push here. Got a little bit of a different type video today. Moving away from horror movies for a moment. Don't worry, we'll get back into that. But I thought it might be fun to list my favorite TV shows of all time. So I was going to do top five, and Jesus, guys, I can't narrow it down to five. I was going to do top 10. I couldn't do that. So what I did was I'm going to name my top 15, which I know is ridiculous, my top 15 favorite TV shows of all time. And I got two honorable mentions in here, too, that are kind of unique shows that I really like. That being said, with 15, now 17 shows that I'm talking about, I'm not going to go into detail on all of these shows. I'm just going to say, a couple sentences, what comes to mind and why I like them. And that's about it. As far as shows that might not make the list, look, there's a lot of TV shows out there, guys. I have not seen them all. So, for instance, if your favorite TV show, that's some critically acclaimed TV show, is not on this list, that doesn't mean I would not like it or I do not like it. It just means I haven't gotten around to watching it. And to be honest, sometimes, when I do have extra time to watch, I end up going back to some of these shows that are at the top of my list. I need to branch out a little bit more. That being said, let's get right into it. I got 15 shows plus two honorable mentions. So, honorable mention number one is going to be a show that captivated the nation in the early 90s, and that's going to be David Lynch's Twin Peaks. I was just a kid when this show came out, but from what I heard, like I said, it just captivated the entire nation. Everyone wanted to know who killed Laura Palmer. And Lynch obviously has a unique style. It's a very weird, unique show, but it's got a lot of atmosphere being up in the Pacific Northwest. Dale Cooper's a fucking awesome character. The second half of the second season gets pretty weird. Obviously, they just had a third season come out on Showtime. Was it 2 years ago already? Which was a little odd as well. But that first season and a half is fucking gold. Captivated the nation, and it's on honorable mention on my list. My second honorable mention is going to be the show Arrested Development. Just a very, once again, unique show. Jason Bateman's awesome in this show. All the Bluths are fucking awesome. Lucille and Buster and Will, whatever the fuck his name is. Comedian that plays the voice of Batman in the Legos. I can't think of his name offhand. But just a classic show. So it's an honorable mention. All right. Number 15 is going to be the show Lost. Lost is another unique, fascinating show. Just shrouded in mystery. A plane crashes on an island and it follows the survivors, but there's all kinds of crazy, weird shit that happens on this island. That's basically the premise of the show, and it gets really fucking nuts and really out there. And, in the middle seasons, really dragged its feet, I thought, and I wasn't a fan of some of the creative choices. But as a show overall, I thought it was a very captivating show. It really kept my attention from week to week, and it's at number 15 on my list. Coming in at number 14, it's going to be a show starring David Duchovny. No, not the show you're probably thinking of, but maybe that'll be on the list too. I'm talking about Californication. God, I love this show. Hank Moody is a fucking awesome character. It's kind of a drama comedy involving basically sex, but David Duchovny's badass. I love his look with the leather jacket and the stubble and always smoking a cigarette. Very different than his other character that he's known for. But Californication's a really cool show. If you like kind of weird sexual humor and different things like that, I'd suggest checking it out. So that's at number 14. Coming in at number 13 is a show that has a lot of nostalgia for personal reasons for me, which I'm not going to get into, but it's a show that I love. It's called Entourage, one of HBO's first hits. Not the first hit, but one of their first hits. This is just a guy's show. If you're a girl, you might not be that huge of a fan of Entourage because it's just, it's how guys act and, how guys would act if they're famous. Following Vince Chase. It's just cool. Ari Gold's a classic character. Johnny Drama is one of my favorite characters in TV history. He's fucking hilarious. So I'm a big fan of Entourage. Once again, like a lot of these shows, the later seasons, you're going to hear me say it misses the mark. But as far as the first few seasons and the show overall, big fan. So it's at number 13. Number 12 is going to be another comedy. It's called The Office. Obviously, the American version of The Office, I should say. Michael Scott, just a great character. Dwight Schrute is great. This show got horrible at the end, but the fact that it's on my list shows how good the first few seasons are. It's just a great sitcom with, great following Steve Carell's character. Michael Scott just has some of the most quotable lines you can in pop culture history. So a big fan of The Office. If you work in an office, yes, life is not really like this, but it's kind of an exaggerated version of life would be like if you had a crazy weird boss like Michael Scott. So a big fan of the show. It's at number 12. Coming in at number 11. Now you guys are gonna start making fun of me with some of these shows. I guarantee it. But number 11 is a show called Angel, a spin-off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Basically takes what Buffy did, and stay tuned to see if Buffy's on my list, but it takes what Buffy did and makes it more adult. I feel Joss Whedon, who created both Buffy and Angel and Firefly, which is another show, and he directed the first couple Avengers movies. Joss Whedon's a genius. The way he weaves themes into the show is great. This is a show about a vampire, which sounds really girly, but it's not. It's a good show. The character arcs in this show are what really do it for me, what make me enthralled with the show. So I'm a big fan, so it's at number 11. All right, top 10, guys. Number 10, it's going to be, I don't know if you'd call this a lesser known show, but it's not high up there on shows that people think of. But I always loved it, and that is going to be the show Burn Notice. It's basically about a spy that gets fired, burned as they say. Name's Michael Weston. And he's trying to get his job back, and he ends up helping people along the way. I'm not a huge cop show guy, but this is as close as it comes for me, which is funny because I have a lot of family members that are cops. But Burn Notice is what I look for in a show where it's just kind of a case of the week type things. So I'm a big fan of the city of Miami too. Love visiting there. Went there with friends a lot in the past. And this show just has the perfect, it's got the perfect setting for a show about a burned spy helping people. So I'm a big fan of Burn Notice, so it comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, it's going to be a comedy from HBO called Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry fucking David. Pretty good this show is. Tackles the most absurd small-time situations. It's classic, guys. Watch Curb Your Enthusiasm if you haven't seen it. It's very slow, but the payoffs are great. Coming in at number 8 is going to be another show that's set in the city of Miami, and this is going to be Dexter. Love this show, at least the first 4 seasons. After season 4, it gets bad, and then it falls off a goddamn cliff. But it's coming back next year, so we'll see how that goes. But it's about a serial killer who only kills other serial killers, basically. And he works for the Miami Metro Police Department as a blood splatter analyst. So it's very interesting. Michael C. Hall is awesome as Dexter. Like I said, like a lot of these shows, it gets bad at the end, but it's worth it for the first 4 seasons. So Dexter's at number 8. Coming in at number 7, it's going to be the other Duchovny show, and it's going to be The X-Files. Another show that just captivated audiences in the 90s. It captured, the nation's attention every Sunday night in the 90s. The truth is out there. You got Fox Mulder, who's one of my favorite characters of all time, basically as an FBI agent that, investigates with his partner Dana Scully. They investigate odd crimes, odd happenings, and the main premise is aliens and shit like that. So very awesome show. There's a reason why it was so popular. It's at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is going to be the only animated show on my list, and this is going to be South Park. I love South Park, guys. I know a lot of people argue that there's better animated shows out there, like American Dad or The Simpsons or Family Guy. But for me, South Park is my show. I love fucking Cartman. I find him hilarious. I love Randy Marsh. I find him hilarious. I love the way they weave whatever's going on in the world to kind of make fun of it. And I love the way that they make fun of both political sides. There's some shows where I'm watching them and, if they're making fun of my side, I don't want to say it gets me angry, but it's kind of like, really? But when South Park does it, I laugh along with it because they fucking make fun of both sides perfectly. And I love that. So I love South Park. It's at number 6. Whew, we are at the top 5, my friends. Number 5 is going to be a show that's still going on called Better Call Saul. You might see the prequel, or you might see what it's spun off after on this list. Spoiler. But Better Call Saul has a lot of possibilities to move up this list. That's how much I love this show. Another show that's a slow burn. I don't want to say I've never cared about a character as much as I care about Jimmy, who becomes Saul. But this is basically about Saul Goodman, a character from Breaking Bad, the lawyer, who it's a prequel, and it shows how he became who he was in Breaking Bad. And if you say the premise of it, if you say the plot points out loud, it sounds boring as hell. But the cinematography is some of the best I ever seen. The writing's fantastic, and just the character's slow descent into becoming this unlikable character is absolutely heartbreaking. So Better Call Saul, it's at number 5. All right, at number 4 is probably the show that makes me laugh out loud the most, and it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm a big fan of this show, guys. Like I said, it makes me laugh out loud more than any other show has. It's fucking ridiculous. For friends that own a bar, plus Danny DeVito, that get in the most weird situations ever. It's not politically correct. Still running strong, even though a lot of the last couple seasons have been hit or miss. But big fan of the show. It's at number 4. Coming in at number 3, get ready to make fun of me here, guys. I'm ready for your insults. If you're still watching, I am ready for your insults. Number 3 is going to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know. I'm a guy in my 30s, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer is my 3rd favorite TV show of all time. Whew. Guys, if you like supernatural shows, this is one of the supernatural shows. And don't worry, Supernatural's not on this list because I haven't seen it, and I know I will probably like it. I'll get to it. But if you like supernatural shows, supernatural shows about life. And like I said with Angel, Joss Whedon does a perfect job of using metaphors of monsters and bringing them into real life situations. Buffy's perfect. It tackles high school as hell, that saying, and then it just moves on to become just a fucking fabulous show. So Buffy's at number 3. Number 2, I got one comedy and one drama left. Number 2 is going to be the comedy. Number 2 is going to be Seinfeld. So much nostalgia with Seinfeld. Growing up as a kid, watched this all the time. Didn't always get the humor, but it just is perfect, tackling the mundane things in life. How funny situations happen, and just, how small things can be funny. I think it's the best sitcom of all time. If you're a fan of Friends, that's fine. I don't think Friends is a bad show, but it pisses me off when people say it's better than Seinfeld. It pisses me off when people say it's on par with Seinfeld. It's not. Seinfeld's way smarter, and it's way better as far as those two New York shows go. But Seinfeld's classic. I love it. I've always loved it. I used to tape them on VHS before, DVDs came out and shit like that. I used to tape episodes on VHS just to rewatch them. So Seinfeld's at number 2. But number 1 in the throne for me is going to be Breaking Bad. I don't know if this show will ever be topped. I really don't. Follows Walter White. I'm sure you guys know the story. A chemistry teacher diagnosed with cancer who ends up cooking crystal meth to get money for his family after he dies, and his descent into absolute madness and becoming the biggest badass in the Southwest. Man, Bryan Cranston's fucking amazing. This show is... nothing will be topped. I've never had a show just where it's breakneck speed, especially in season 4 and 5. Just the breakneck speed of this show and just the jaw-dropping moments are just fucking classic. So I love Breaking Bad, and it's at number 1. So if you guys stuck around, let me know some of your favorite TV shows. What is not on my list that's on your list? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? You can make fun of me for having Buffy on my list. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.